Support for the roundup comes from Symphony 3, allowing councils to connect their systems securely, to automate their data flows and to monitor performance in real time. And right now, councils are lining up for their own emergency dashboard, like the one that Symphony 3 has created for the city of Greater Bendigo. The dashboard helps keep the community safe and prepared before, during and after emergencies. It pulls together live data, including weather data, traffic data, emergency incidents, unplanned and planned disruptions, news and social media feeds. Visit www.symphony3.com to learn how you can get an emergency dashboard for your community. Breaking news, a mayor's suspension ruled invalid by the Supreme Court, and a 6-month delay for South Australia's local government elections under consideration. Also today, a Western Australian council takes issue with press reporting of CEO salaries, Kingston's new governance improvement plan, a fresh protection order issued for a New South Wales mayor against a former councillor, and Los Angeles mayoral runoff contenders confirmed. Hello, Chris Eddy here, back with more local government news from across Australia and beyond on the Local Government News Roundup, brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association, our founding sponsor and the national broadcaster on all things local government. And support comes from Symphony 3, simple, connected customer experiences, and from Rath Engineering Development, smarter local government systems built from real on-the-ground experience. It's Wednesday the 10th of June. I know it's only a day since our last episode, but we have big breaking local government news to bring you up to date on. In a bombshell ruling yesterday, Victoria's Supreme Court has found that the 2025 suspension of Whittlesea Mayor Aidan McClendon was invalid. The court found that the municipal monitors failed to provide him with the specific details of alleged misconduct before delivering their report, in a breach of procedural fairness. Justice Stephen Moore found the Local Government Act does not allow a minister to remedy that deficiency through a second round of consultation, as then-Minister Nick Stakos's legal representatives had argued in court. Justice Moore dismissed Councillor McClendon's allegations of bias as being without foundation and lacking logical connection, and also said he was only interested in the legality of the decision, not the merits of the underlying allegations. The ruling raises substantive questions about the procedural obligations of monitors operating under Victoria's local government oversight framework. In a statement issued following the judgment, Councillor McClendon said the ruling raised serious questions about whether elected councillors and mayors were being afforded the procedural fairness, transparency and accountability they were entitled to expect. He indicated he would consider further steps to pursue accountability and reform and called for legislative change to the local government oversight framework in Victoria. According to the ABC, Councillor McClendon is now considering further legal options against the state and has not ruled out running in this year's Victorian state election as an independent. In other Victorian news, the City of Kingston has adopted a governance and cultural improvement action plan developed through a councillor working group with input from elected members, council officers and municipal monitors. The plan sets out practical initiatives to strengthen governance, improve organisational culture and support better decision-making. Mayor Georgina Oxley described the plan as a clear blueprint for the remainder of the current council term. Progress will be reported biannually to both the Council and the Minister for Local Government. John Tanner and John Watson are in place as municipal monitors at Kingston until the end of this month. Their term was extended late last year, with a final report due to the Minister around mid-year. Wyndham City Council has launched a massive campaign demanding the state government fast-track vital projects to keep pace with its booming population. Currently home to 340,000 residents, making it larger than Geelong, the council warns the region faces dire straits without urgent investment. Top priorities ahead of November's election include funding for the 100-kilometre outer metropolitan ring road, a new $30 million indoor sports centre in Tarneet, and 3 new railway stations, starting with Truganina. And Cardinia Shire Council's proposal to rename the Pakenham East Precinct to Honora Fields has hit a procedural hurdle, with Geographic Names Victoria requesting further consultation before the name can be formally registered. GNV confirmed the name itself is compliant and has reserved it, but it's identified minor departures from the naming rules in the previous consultation process around voting and objections. The council says further details on next steps will be available shortly. We're mixing it up today and going next to South Australia, where there's big breaking news there too. Local government elections scheduled for this November may be pushed back to mid-next year, according to multiple sources, including in Daily. Acting Election Commissioner Leah McClay has formally asked Special Minister of State Kayam Ma to approve a delay. She's cited concerns that the Electoral Commission lacks sufficient time to implement lessons from an independent review of the troubled 2026 state election, and fears it may struggle to recruit the temporary workforce needed to run the poll. McClay says she's advised the Local Government Association and all 67 affected councils. Mr Ma said the request had been referred to Cabinet and a decision could be expected within days. He described the situation as exceptionally disappointing. The Local Government Association of South Australia has acknowledged the immense pressure facing the Electoral Commission and says it respects the request to delay council elections to protect democratic integrity. While it's previously raised concerns about holding state and local elections in the same year, it's now actively assessing the practical implications of a change, particularly regarding council budget processes, legislative alignment and the impacted terms of elected officials. Meanwhile, South Australian local government is facing fresh scrutiny following One Nation's launch of an independent inquiry into the sector. MLC Carlos Caremba has announced a 4-person panel, including former local government minister Mark Brindle, to review council efficiencies and administrative structures. The inquiry, first reported by the Advertiser yesterday, will accept public submissions through the MP's office ahead of proposed legislative reforms to the Local Government Act. Coming out of New South Wales today, an environmental activist and former Coffs Harbour councillor has been found guilty of multiple charges in the Coffs Harbour local court. Mark Stewart Graham was convicted of offences including breaching an AVO and assaulting police, following what prosecutors described as the targeted harassment of public officials. The court has issued a fresh 2-year apprehended violence order to protect Coffs Harbour Mayor Nikki Williams and her mother. Sentencing has been adjourned until August. More details on that from the Daily Telegraph. Bega Valley Shire Council will vote today on whether to write off 2 major debts totalling over $1.2 million, according to 2EC. Council staff have recommended waiving a $1.1 million public land use fee billed to New South Wales Police during the delayed construction of the Bega Police Station. Councillors are also expected to wipe a $145,000 airport user fee owed by the former Rex Airlines. And Camden Council has installed 24/7 surveillance cameras at known illegal dumping hotspots in Leppington, funded through the New South Wales EPA's Illegal Dumping Prevention Program. Cameras are operating at 3 locations, and the council is working with the Western Sydney Regional Illegal Dumping Squad to investigate reports and pursue fines against offenders. In Queensland, Bundaberg Regional Council has passed its new budget in a tight 6-5 vote following a 1-week adjournment. The Cairns Post reported the meeting was marked by public protests over a 10% rate increase for non-principal places of residence, alongside heated procedural debates inside the chambers. The budget includes an 8.28% general rate increase, a projected $8.4 million surplus, and a new community wellbeing and environment charge. The Sunshine Coast hinterland has officially been declared Queensland's first internationally recognised dark sky reserve. The designation by Dark Sky International covers approximately 870 square kilometres. Following a community-led push and a comprehensive application by the Sunshine Coast Council, the region has adopted a thorough lighting management plan. In Tasmania, the city of Clarence is calling on the community to report suspicious activity in its bushland reserves after illegal wood cutting felled a Tasmanian blue gum estimated to be between 200 and 400 years old at Pilcher's Hill Reserve near Galston Bay. The tree was listed as habitat for the critically endangered swift parrot. The council says the activity is affecting almost all of its 18 bushland reserves and is urging anyone who witnesses tree cutting or timber removal to contact Tasmania Police. And in Western Australia, the Shire of Derby West Kimberley has issued a strong statement rejecting a WA Today report claiming its chief executive officer was paid $417,000. The Shire says its audited annual report shows CEO Tamara Clarkson received $297,000, with a further $120,000 paid to a former CEO who left during the year. It says it strongly refutes any suggestion that it has provided a CEO remuneration package exceeding the limits set by the Salaries and Allowances Tribunal, and it wants WA Today to correct the record. Now heading overseas, and UK ministers are considering a ban on London councils relocating homeless families to distant local government areas. An investigation by The Guardian reveals official figures for these out-of-area placements have doubled in the past 2 years. Federal homelessness ministers are now reviewing a potential distance limit on relocations to reduce the social and financial strain on regional councils. UK Local Government Minister Alison McGovern says the government is sticking to its timetable for local government reorganisation, aiming to have new unitary authorities in place by 2028. Giving evidence to a Commons committee, McGovern acknowledged concerns the process could be rushed, but said extending the schedule risks holding affected councils back from other priorities. More from the Local Government Chronicle. Los Angeles voters are definitely heading for a November mayoral runoff. NBC News projects Mayor Karen Bass will face City Council member Nithya Raman after neither topped 50% in the all-party primary. Raman, a Democrat and member of the Democratic Socialists of America, moved into the top two as later counted ballots leaned more Democratic, pushing past Republican candidate and reality TV figure Spencer Pratt. In New Zealand, Nelson City Council will debate behind closed doors on Thursday whether Councillor Lisa Austin is disqualified from office. Top South Now reports the move follows advice from the Audit Office that she's ineligible to stand due to her business interests. Austin denies wrongdoing and says her company has no direct council contracts. The council is expected to consider legal risk and whether a costly by-election is needed. And a historic milestone in local government in Japan, with that country's youngest female city mayor announcing plans to take maternity leave. 35-year-old Shoko Kawata, the mayor of Yawata City, will take 16 weeks leave around the birth of her first child in September. According to a report from CNN, the move highlights a significant grey area in Japan's political system, which currently lacks a legal framework guaranteeing parental leave for elected officials. A deputy will oversee council operations during her absence. And that's the latest from the Roundup, edition number 593 for Wednesday the 10th of June. You can find out more by heading to lgnewsroundup.com. The Local Government News Roundup is brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association, our founding sponsor and the national broadcaster on all things local government. And support comes from Symphony 3, simple connected customer experiences, and Rath Engineering Development, smarter local government systems built from real on-the-ground experience. The Local Government News Roundup is recorded in the city of Greater Geelong, Victoria, on the land of the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation. I'll be back soon with more news from the world of local government. Until then, thanks for listening and bye for now. Support for the Local Government News Roundup comes from Rath Engineering Development, smarter systems for local government, like Red GMS, helping councils manage gravel pits and projects, track quality, test results, blending options and haulage, and know the true cost per tonne from day one. Rath Engineering Development can give you a one-off report that uses your existing pit data to pinpoint the best gravel sources for your next resheeting program or disaster restoration works, saving your council time and money. For local government systems built from real on-the-ground experience, talk to the team at Rath Engineering Development. Head to rathed.com.au to find out more.